This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Circuit Barrakiel, Remy Asalia, Saray Cypher, Omega Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Nina Grimsdottir, Casey Schaefer, Daimos, Ciciriful Alirafu, Lily Black, Hans Grenade, Sapa Chakwatol, Asuta Starbreeze, Faris Gentoru, Cletus Oreo, Quick Levin, Sayuri Snowfall, Luke Leonatrell, Stella Bell, Cirrus, Icy Lee, Lyria Rain, Pamela Isley, Umbral Wind, Naive Arino, Celeste Grasgris, Alenriel Maximus, Edwin, Bob CC, Celestia, Fabs and Voidworm, and Raimi Maverick. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon episode 180. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by no one Des.
Wow.
Alright. I'm in the void today. I'm on the shard, the void.
Hey,
What
check
is
out your
that?
light on, Rollo.
I'm smiling. Can you see my teeth?
Don't.
No, Rollo,
Oh,
don't.
there
That's
you are.
creepy.
Rollo Des.
Hi.
Oh, and where did you put your
Where's
nameplate?
Where's the thing?
Okay, let's
Skype.
try that again. Rollo Des. Georgi Wiston.
Oh, it's just there.
Van Mela Vanadar.
Hello.
We did it.
We did it. Welcome, everyone. This is episode 180, like I just said. Our main stories today, there are multiple. Well, it's kind of the same thing. We have some interviews to go through, both with Yoshi-P and the battle team.
Goodness
This is
me.
awful.
Okay.
What is this episode?
I didn't do a cam check before we did this. Okay. Yes. We have two interviews: Yoshi-P and the battle designers. So we'll read through those today. There's also some other stuff like a big exploit thing. The patch 5.2 website has been updated, and we will be reading MogMail at the end of the show. So look forward to that. Stay tuned for the post show if you're watching live. We'll be doing questions from the syndicate as usual. And are we gonna? We're not gonna finish it probably, but we'll get very
Of course
close
we're not
to
gonna
the
finish
end. Here's an update about what's gonna happen next week. We'll have Gillionaire next week. Woo! Woo! So that's cool.
It's the 2020 edition.
The 2020 edition of Gillionaire.
I think there was maybe 2 episodes last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was
See if we can smash that record.
Yeah. There's usually 2 episodes per year. I think that's how it goes. I think that's just the number. What have we done this week in 14? And I think there's one topic that we should just put in here, and I think it's the Valentine's Day quest.
Yeah.
Have you
Gonna
all done
reveal our
it?
votes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have some traitors in our midst.
We have one specific
Well,
traitor who's
We
the
have
worst human ever.
There is one
And
specific
then a
worst
slight
traitor,
traitor.
and then there's the snake traitor.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a very specific reason for picking Rodrigo,
I
and that's because
thought we had
no one else.
decided to do Bert. I'm
Bert
wearing
is the
Bert.
only
We're
one.
both wearing Bert colors today, Georgi, and you didn't vote.
He's
for
wearing
him.
Roger Galton. Sorry, that one.
Vote
Yeah.
Bert. Vote Bert.
He's wearing Roger Galton. He's the only one that didn't pick. That's the only one he didn't pick.
I have
true.
2 characters I play. You want me to do a third one?
I picked
No.
Bert on my on my Ragnarok character. The reason I picked Roger Galt is because no one else would be able to speak about him if that was the
That's
case.
true.
Yeah. Right. Yes. So, and who wants to start? I'm picking Georgi.
Are we talking just about the Valentine's event?
Anything. Well, let's finish the
Okay.
Valentine's quest, maybe. Should we just do that together? I don't know how to cover this.
Yeah, I think we should probably
Let's
just
finish,
do that.
get that out of
together.
the way. Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I picked Bert because I felt like I wouldn't hear the end of it if I didn't.
I picked Bert because his solution was the most sensible.
I agree with that too.
Rodrigolt's was decent, and anyone who picks Astrid is a nonsense decision. She just says maybe he should go out with one of his clients.
Yeah.
Horrible
What kind of
advice.
solution is that? That's just gonna fail his business, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That is the advice of a child.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Vote for someone who's got a bit of world experience, someone who's a bit feisty, a bit up there, passionate.
Yeah.
Bert.
Yeah.
Plus, he's called Bert.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What a name.
What's there not to like? And he's wearing a fucking hat to cover up the fact that he doesn't have eyebrows.
A pork pie hat.
Yeah. So
Great guy.
there's not much more to say because they all have. That's basically the quest. You have to pick between one of the three.
Yeah.
People.
Who is the man?
It's I was pretty sure it was the Lancer Guildmaster.
Yeah,
Mm.
there's
Could
some-
not
yeah,
even begin to remember him. So
no. But so we will know. Is it in 2 weeks? Is that when they?
Surely it's not 2 weeks because that's the normal length of an event. Surely it would be after 1 week.
Oh yeah,
this
1
is
week.
quite a long
And
event.
then the second will be 3 weeks.
It's going to be a long event. Voting period ends Sunday the 9th.
Yeah.
Wow, it is going to be a long event.
And then results from the 9th to Monday the 17th. So it's like a month, almost a month-long event.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's clever.
Ridiculous.
That's a clever way to drag out the.
Well, no,
content.
because nothing happens during it.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it's a very just. You
Yeah.
go to 2 spots real quick, and then you unlock the fucking love challenge thing.
Yeah, and there's only one thing to work for, which is the chocolate fountain.
We didn't even get the achievement yet, did we?
No, we didn't. That's
No.
true,
No,
Georgi.
yeah, that's true. No.
Mm. What does Lizette say for each person that you pick?
For Bert, she just says, like, that's surprising that you'd go for him.
He has
Because
no
I don't
eyebrows.
think he's ever had any good plans in his life.
Is that what she said?
Mm.
I can't remember.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, she did.
He's like, she
threw
thinks
some
of him as
shade
like a
at him.
jokey character.
Yeah.
But I
yeah,
think
she
he's
says
serious.
she does. She's very similar with Rodrigo. She doesn't say that he's never had a good plan, but he's a self-satisfied scholar who lacks charisma. So how did you end up picking him? Essentially,
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
what did she say about Astrid?
I
Rollo?
skipped through it. I did.
Oh, well, there you go.
I didn't pay attention when I did Astrid.
What
I was like,
is
I don't
even the point of having done it if you can't even offer the
Not
perspective?
only are you a
I'm
traitor,
sorry.
you don't even care. You're like, I picked this
no, no. Now you're making it seem like I just voted for Astrid and like skipped the event. No. On my main, I voted for Bert, on
Okay.
Crystal, on Zalera,
Good.
and then
Yeah.
before a stream, on my alt, I just went with Astrid because I wanted the red outfit because that's the color I have for the speaker's thing is red.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Rollo, but you didn't help us with the information by
did.
choosing to skip through the event.
I didn't. I forgot to look at the dialogue. I was like, oh.
Okay,
well.
well, at least Rollo, you did vote correctly, at least on one of them. Okay.
I could just lie and say that she liked her.
I also like.
Well,
that-
she probably did.
Yeah. I also like that there were 3 like teams when in the amphitheater. No, sorry, 4. There's the red, the blue, the yellow, and the green.
Who was
Did
the
you
green?
notice that?
What? Who
Yeah,
didn't
like,
notice
vote
the greens?
green, vote green, and people are like wearing green, and there's like this imaginary like they've made their own team with like
Oh, I need to go
green
back and look.
outfits because that's like the
That's
best
funny.
team. Yeah, I like that. That's funny.
I mean, they are very anti-green. All the teams are always yellow, red, and blue.
Yeah. They also have the frog like head.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
so
I need to go back
that's
and look
the
at
green
that.
team.
Oh, that's what that was about. Okay,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
wondering where I was seeing all the green stuff for a while. And I was like, it makes sense
There-
now.
There isn't an actual green team you can vote for, but that's like the community team, the green one.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well,
Uh,
maybe I'll join Team Green.
I want to join Team Green too, but Bert.
You don't even wear
I'm
green.
happy with Bert.
Well, I will change for Team Green. I'm very loyal. I say as I leave Bert behind.
Awful.
Okay, what have we done this week in 14? Georgi.
I've been mostly doing Mogtome stuff. Well, I've been trying to do Mogtome stuff, but they keep giving me things I don't want in the roulettes. It's very disheartening.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't gotten Praetorium once by myself.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, same with me though. I keep getting Castro.
And I haven't gotten a single Mark raid either.
Oh my god.
I haven't been that unlucky. I've gotten Void. I keep getting Void Arc though. I never get any of the other ones.
Why are people doing Void Arc?
I don't know. Is
Fast.
It's not even like
faster?
efficient.
Oh, it isn't. I don't know.
It's not though.
I know.
Like I'd say Weeping City is probably just as fast, and you get 2 more tomes from it.
Oh yeah. I can already predict that that's what most of us are gonna say, that we've done the Mug Tome thing. But sure, let's just do the rounds. Rollo.
Yeah, doing the Mog Tome stuff. I don't want to rub it in anyone's face, and I'm not. But I've just been getting nothing but Praetorium and like the right fucking raid too. Dunscape. I was weird saying, I don't know why. That's all I've gotten every time I've done it.
That doesn't surprise me.
No.
And so that's been pretty nice. I'm racking up those tomestones.
Yeah.
Probably just not going to use them. Well, no, I want them out, so I am going to use them.
How much is the necklace
least
again? Is it 100?
100.
Yeah.
100. It's 100.
100? Yeah, so that's pretty.
For
I'm
a very
halfway
ugly
there, I think.
necklace. For a very ugly necklace. The mount is 50? No, wait, what's
50
the mount?
each.
Yeah.
Mount is 50. Yeah.
There's
Oh, it's only
multiple
50?
mounts.
I thought it was 100. I should
No,
get that now.
yeah.
then.
No,
I have
nothing is 100 except for the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that they ever make 100 is the one thing that is exclusive to the event.
Yeah.
I also got Red Mage to 80.
Mhm.
I did it,
Oh,
fellas.
very good.
Scorch is neat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It just
Doesn't
makes the
add
combo. Yeah, it's just like
Just a finisher, isn't it,
I'm,
really?
I'm pressing
Yeah.
one more button.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It's just Red Mage really didn't change that much from
damage.
Stormblood
No.
for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Which
Red
is
Mage
fine.
was pretty like complete.
Yeah,
At
it's
70.
always been in a good position.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Except for that first week or so at Storm or Shadowbringers where the MP cost for skills was fucking ridiculous. And
Oh,
if
that
you
was
raised-
bad.
Yeah, it was like, what? How did anyone play this at 80 at that time? It must have been fucking awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. It's Red Mage. It's all right.
Uh-huh.
It's never been one of my favorite jobs, but it does the job
Mm-hmm.
of being a caster that can res people.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do next? Maybe Dragoon.
Wow.
Oh.
Dragoon.
Ooh.
Oh. Mela?
Well, it's probably not a surprise, but I've been doing Moogle tomestones.
Ah, wow.
Oh.
I think I'm
Mm.
at about 107,
Oh, wow, good. Wow, you can
Oh
get
wow,
the
you can
ugly
buy
necklace.
the necklace.
Yeah.
but my aim is 200 because I want the 2 mounts as well, and
Mm.
then 1 extra. I have to have 1 for my collection of tomestones.
You're a hoarder, Mela. You have to stop.
I like
don't
having
need it.
exclusive things that
But
are no longer
it's
available.
a pointless thing.
No,
Are you-
'cause- no, it's not pointless.
You
It'll
can't
be cool.
even show it off properly. Like, how are you gonna? What are you gonna link it in chat and be like,
I
"Look at me"?
enjoy it. Okay, stop throwing shame at me.
Mm.
Mela, I have to
I
ask you
kind
real
of
quick.
What?
How susceptible are you to the fear of missing out?
Mm.
Well, I think it all stems back to Wind Up Dalamud.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So all coming from
Oh,
there. I'll never miss out again, Ron. I'll never miss out again.
Okay.
I've also got Machinist to 80 through this. I'm doing
Mm.
all the few relax.
Okay.
You like
But
the
I've-
big robot?
I've not used it yet. I got it to 80. I need to finish the Cardinal Virtues questline for physical DPS.
Physical.
Right.
I think I got to up to like the 76 one, so I can't even get my artifact gear yet.
Oh.
So
Mm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Oh.
working on Samurai now.
Okay.
Rollo, what did you think of the level 80 Red Mage quest? Because I think all of us have done it now.
Mm.
I actually haven't done it. I forgot to go and do it.
Mm.
I actually haven't done a lot of the.
No, I've
Right,
forgotten
lady
pretty
job
much all the
quest.
80 job quests because they don't really point you in that direction.
I have to
No,
like
they don't
look
really
them
prompt
up
you.
and be like, where the fuck is it? The only one
What?
I've done is Dark Knight.
It's
Why
in
do we not?
Revenant.
Just
Why are we
remember
not?
where your job teachers are.
But why are we not getting that like thing at the bottom
know,
of the main
it should.
scenario thing that we used to get?
I
Where-
think because it doesn't do anything right now. I think we'll get it once the next expansion is out.
Mm.
That's dumb.
is
But
weird.
yeah, it's she's in Revenant's Toll, really.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's where she is.
Yeah. Okay. I've done the Moogle shit. That's it. That's all I've done.
Okay.
I've leveled
Wow.
Okay.
Astrologian.
You probably leveled some
and
stuff.
now I can say as well that I don't really like Astrologian
Yeah.
right now. So
Did you like
there
it
you have
before?
When the
liked
cards
it
mattered,
more.
yeah, I liked them more then. Now I'm like very confused about the
It
cards.
was still my
Like, what's
least
the
favorite
point?
healer, but I liked it
Oh.
more.
Yeah, the cards are
It
just
felt
annoying
good getting
now.
the right card.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Even as like the person receiving the card, when you got like
Mhm.
the which is the speed one? The spell speed
Arrow?
one?
Arrow.
Yeah, that was always good on Red
Balance though. Hello.
Balance was great.
Yeah.
But I will say,
What-
just waiting, fishing for balance at
Yeah.
every like range.
Well,
That was
yeah.
that was.
Well, that's why they made the spear and arrow better.
Mm-hmm. They did.
You should have just been able to pick your cards out of a fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the
Mm.
cards are just they are all the same thing, and I'm like, why even have them? But
You
they,
still have to fish for cards at the beginning of
way.
a fight.
Yeah, you
sort
do.
of.
Yeah.
So and I
Yeah.
remember them talking about like that's the thing we want to reduce is like the downtime between fights if you have an Astro and then fishing for cards.
Mm-hmm.
But you still want to try and do that so you at least can get 2 seals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah, they've sort of. Yeah, I see that. It's a very confused class right now. I wonder what.
or not 2 seals, sorry, or you can where you hold the cards. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
because you can't get seals out of combat,
Mm-hmm.
but you can like hold a card and then have the timer go down for.
It took me a while to figure that out when I
Yeah.
started leveling Astrologian.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I kept just trying to apply cards to my Chocobo. I was like, where the fuck is my seal?
uh,
I get used to
And
it pretty quick.
nothing in-game tells you that doesn't happen, by the way. I looked at the tooltips and I looked at the
Really?
help window.
oh,
okay.
yeah. I just remembered it because I remember we covered it at some point that was the thing they
Mhm.
changed. So yeah.
I'd
Oh.
just forgotten.
Okay. Let's jump into recent events. That's not what we're doing.
Ah. Okay.
Oh, okay, can we do that again? Sorry, everything is weird since we
Recent Q events.
Here we go. Today's not our
Recent
day.
event.
Here we go. Let's jump into recent events. Oh. Okay. And in our first story, it's a weird story. This first one. Yoshi-P will make an appearance in Neo 2
Yeah.
Yay.
as a template for the character creator.
Yeah.
Very strange. I feel like is he not in another game as well? They put him somewhere else. I've seen Yoshi-P in a game before. Chat, help. I have seen him before somewhere. I know there's some sort of reference to Yoshi-P in another game.
I feel like you're right too, but I don't
Yeah.
remember.
We never covered it. Monster
Was
Hunter.
it World?
It was Monster
Was
Hunter
it?
World.
Ah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I think that's where he went. Yeah. This one's really strange because it's got it's Yoshi-P's face, but it's got a different haircut. It's got like a ponytail kind of
It's
thing.
pretty close though. Like the front of
The
it.
front
pretty
is very
close.
Yoshi-P. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
the
It's just the
ponytail
back.
isn't.
It's very cool. That's because someone won a character creator contest and they just put Yoshi-P in there. So
Yeah, this wasn't like a dev thing of like, hey, let's put Yoshi-P in there. Like, no, some guy was just like, I'm gonna put Yoshi-P. I'm gonna submit as a character, and
yeah.
they won.
And I won.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good.
Quite a good
It's
demo.
it's
Did
very
Yoshi-P
close.
get anything out of this?
Probably
I don't
not.
know.
Oh, that's
might
a
ask
good
him
question.
sometime.
Actually,
Internet
are they
cred.
allowed to do this?
Because they're using his appearance, essentially.
Yeah. Who makes?
I'm sure he'd be flattered.
What's the publisher for Neo? Do we know?
No, I don't disagree.
Is it Bandai Namco?
Oh, it's Namco.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
I think it is. Yeah, it's not a Square Enix game. That's what you're
Okay.
thinking.
Okay. Right. Well, that's cool. If you want to play, if you were on the fence about Neo, maybe this will make you buy it. You can play as Yoshi-P. All your Yoshi-P dreams will come true.
The Ultimate Samurai.
In other news, PAX East 2020, Final Fantasy XIV will make an appearance there this year as well. It's in Massachusetts. Boston. Naoki Yoshida and lead character concept artist Yosuke Mogi. Yusuke Mogi, who will be hosting a panel and 2 signing sessions. 2.
So it says singing session.
It will be streamed live. We still haven't decided if that's going to be covered, but
well, we don't fully know what it is yet, and we got a month to figure it out.
Yeah, it's on Thursday, February 27th, 2020, through Sunday.
I'll probably watch.
March That's like 1st, right before the patch comes out.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah,
the day before.
Yeah, no, it's probably after.
It is after. Yeah, it is after. 27th of February.
Oh, wow, that's. Who will watch it then? People will be doing the patch.
Yeah.
It depends what time it is and how long it is. I might tune in.
Well, the patch will be...
Depending what the panel is.
Patch is on Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Tuesday before.
On the 25th.
Hmm.
It can't be any...
Wait, do we know the date for the patch?
No.
Wait, no, the patch isn't that late in the month. The patch will probably be the 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah, the patch date is not confirmed yet,
no.
But presumably it'll be about 2 weeks after the live letter.
So maybe they'll show some Ruby Weapon stuff, or not Ruby Weapon stuff. The Boz Just Citadel shit.
Not at PAX.
That's not in the initial patch, is it? Right.
2.2.
No, but this is
5.25, wasn't it? Yeah.
What is this panel for? This is a.
I'll get to it. This is the panel. Let me just continue reading. The panel is called "The Artwork of Final Fantasy XIV: A Look Behind the Screen." Join us for a behind-the-scenes look at the different techniques used to create a variety of Final Fantasy XIV artwork, including jobs, NPCs, monsters, and equipment. We'll also be sharing some fun stories surrounding our development process. Panel attendees will also receive a double-sided poster that features artwork by Mogi. So it's that job poster with all the different...
I really like this.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah. It will be streamed on the 14 Twitch channel and the PAX East Twitch channel, and the audio will be available in English and Japanese. So
surprising.
That's not surprising because it's in America.
It's in America. I assume Miami will be there.
Yeah.
Come to our Japanese only audio channel.
Welcome everyone. So there will be the signing session. There will be a photo backdrop. And they will be giving away, so they will give away the usual lanyard thing, but a scarf as well, which looks really cool. But then you see it, then you spot it in the background, like in the back, you can see the FFXIV
It's not immediately noticeable.
No,
because it's backwards. Because they don't show you the front of the scarf.
No,
you can be a walking advertisement.
Disgusting. Of course you can.
Yeah. It looks so cool, but yeah.
It's a short-looking scarf.
It's like just drape it over your shoulders kind of scarf.
Yeah, so it's just for advertising. There's no utility here.
It's at a good time though, 8 p.m. GMT.
Yeah, for Europe, that's pretty good.
So it's the usual time for us.
Yeah. There's also a Ruby Weapon Battle Challenge, where attendees will be able to challenge the Ruby Weapon, and those who emerge victorious will receive an I Beat Ruby Weapon t-shirt. The design is secret for now, obviously, because it's not released yet. Yeah, and then they have merchandise and stuff.
Yeah.
The usual spiel. So that's on February 20... Sorry, the panel is on... When was it?
Friday the 28th.
Friday the 28th, 2020. 8
Okay.
8 p.m. GMT, 9 p.m. Central European Time.
Yeah.
Okay, next, emergency maintenance. Okay, this is interesting. So there was a couple of days ago, word spread like wildfire about an exploit that someone had been abusing for a while, because this is a very old exploit apparently. But it just blew up. I would say like 2 days ago. Is that when this happened? Let's see, January 29th. Yeah, about 2 days ago. I saw it even reached our Discord. People were talking about it. I kid you not, like a few hours, like 2 or 3 hours later, emergency maintenance. So apparently, I mean, when you hear what the reason for it was, it's quite obvious why they did it. But basically, in which dungeon is it? Is it Airy or the other one?
The Airy.
It's the Airy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you get the Draconian light buff, which is the shield from Estinium?
Yeah. When you're fighting Nidhogg.
Yeah, it has 90 and 95% damage mitigation. You can leave that instance and keep it in other content.
Oh.
You could, which is why when this spread, and Square Enix obviously got word of that, they performed an emergency maintenance, and it is no longer possible to carry that buff out of the dungeon. But this is a very old exploit. This must have been there since Heavensward.
Yeah.
So whoever's been using this exploit has been very, like, lucky.
To be fair,
Quiet.
you're going to have to be very quiet about it, because you're going to have the buff icon.
Yeah, like...
If you go into content, you'd get found out. So they must have done a lot of solo stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
Must have done a lot of stuff that isn't monitored frequently.
People will bring it into PvP. Wow.
Yeah, I thought they only started doing that recently. And
that's
what
probably
caused
what caused it. Yeah.
I could have brought it to Eureka and just gotten everything done really quick.
Yeah.
Abused in deep dungeons.
Ultima.
I mean, I believe people in deep dungeons would have abused it, but I feel like anyone that would have cleared a deep dungeon using it would have been caught.
Well, if they weren't looking for it, like, how would they know? It's not like the server logs what buffs they had on them. As far as I doubt that their systems.
Yeah, but remember, the first Necromancer title came. No, there weren't other Necromancers for a long time.
Well, you have to remember, this has been a very secret exploit. Like, this is probably only a few people, I would assume, would have known. Because if a lot of people knew about it, it would have bubbled to the surface sooner.
Yeah.
So, because remember how Ungermax, that was the thing that everyone sort of knew about, and eventually it became mainstream, and they had to fix it.
Yeah.
This must be only known by
this came out of the
very
blue.
small handful of people.
Yeah. So there was an official announcement. In order to accompany patch 5.18 hotfixes, will be performing emergency maintenance on all worlds at the time below. They didn't mention what it was for, but it is obvious that it was that. Because as far as I know, you can no longer do that now. And I'm sure those people that have been abusing it are sweating right now. Because during the Ungermax scandal, they went back and checked who had abused it. So,
and this is a very specific buff to go and look for.
Yeah. So
that's triggered when you're in any other content than the Airy.
Yeah. Oh, they did tell the main shit. I should have put that here. There was a mention of not Ungermax, the Draconian light thing being repaired. They obviously had to explain what had been patched. But they didn't do that in the initial one because they still had to wait for the maintenance to begin. So they didn't want people to flock to that dungeon to exploit.
Try it.
Yeah. That's that. That's over. Very surprised that they had that for so long. All right, now let's go into the next story, which is the 5.2 website that has been updated.
Yay.
There's some
It
interesting.
actually looks like a website now.
Yeah.
But if you scroll all the way to the bottom, the dot points are still there.
Yeah.
I feel like they left that there as their own personal to-do list.
Yeah. Let's see. Can we?
You can share it, can't you?
I can. At some point, I should be able to do that. Right. Everything is wrong today, but stay with me.
I won't leave you.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, it is there. It's just gone. Okay. There we
Rolly,
go.
you can't stay here, Rolly.
So we're back to this again. All right. So it says, Fate beckons the bold answer. This is the main scenario update. Echoes of a Fallen Star, patch 5.2. With Yulmore on the path to a brighter tomorrow, the Scions await such time as the Exarch might return them home. Not in idleness, however, for when has any world been content to grant its heroes respite?
Not in Idleshire, however.
No, the first picture is interesting because that's the not Ard Bear in the
What's he
Custarian.
called in game?
The Wayward Warrior.
Wayward Warrior. Yeah. I don't like him, but I'm more interested in what.
Yeah, this
what
one
Rauban's
got
up
me
to.
shooketh.
Why is Rauban and Mad Hair Gaius around?
Well, everyone that we sort of abandoned after Stormblood is here. So there's Rauban, there's the what's his name,
Maxima.
Oh yeah,
and his other friend, and us.
I guess that's
Yeah,
us.
Yes, I assume that has to be us.
Yeah. In Al Amigo.
Yeah.
Remember that place?
Remember that place that Lise liberated? That's
Yeah.
Oh, that's where we had our headache for the first time.
yeah.
The second time.
It's the headache room.
There's an
The second
There
time?
is
I'm pretty
a
sure that's
chance.
the first time.
there is a chance Lise
that's
will be
when
in this
Thancred-
patch.
Oh goodness, no.
I don't think I can stomach.
But do you like that they didn't even put her in this picture though? I kind of
do
like that.
I like that. She means nothing.
Oh my God.
No. She liberated this. Come on now. Well, I really like this room, which has nothing to do with anything, but I just like this room. Next picture, I guess. There's nothing we can. This is obviously that side story that we still don't know
Ruby
much
weapon
about.
one?
Well, I think they just need
Are
to
you
keep
sure?
us interested in Garlemald. Well, we sort of were talking to
Yeah, because
Gaius, and
remember,
he went away with Alphano and all that stuff, but then we just sidetracked to this
Yeah.
expansion.
remember when the 14 Twitter posted the picture of Gaius with, was it with Maxima? I can't remember who was in that pic. No. It was just some random people in high
It was the
late
random
elegant
people.
gear.
Mm.
So we know that Gaius is linked to one of those stories, which is probably the.
There's trials.
I don't really
I think
know.
it's the trials.
I think it's going to be like how it was in Stormblood, where, like, what's his name? The Turtle Man.
Mm-hmm.
He joins you for, like, the 4.2, like, MSQ, and then at some point he
The
splits off on
Turtle
his
Man.
own.
Yeah,
Sorrow.
Sorrow Band.
Yeah. They have to
Yes.
like. Yeah, that makes the most sense because it'd be weird if we. Yeah. So it'll be like he will be part of the MSQ, and then he'll be like, "Oh, I'll do something else," and then that will become.
I have to
the
fuck
side.
off right now.
Yeah.
I've got
Well,
to turn into a-
his is much more justifiable because he can't say, I can't join you on the first.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Let's.
could if
Also,
Graha wants
Gaius in Al Amigo again. That's a little weird, but
Yeah, people will be very happy to see him.
yeah.
Hey guys!
I
They don't know what he looks like.
Oh,
Other
right.
than a few
that's
select
true.
people, not many people know what he looks like underneath the
That's
armor.
true. That's true.
Oh, it'd be so funny.
But Rauban
it's
knows.
Gaius.
Rauban knows.
Well,
So I'm
Rauban does
assuming
know,
their
but
first
what's he
meeting
gonna
will
do?
be a little tense.
Oh, it's gonna be. They handle it well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look
man.
at like Nero and Sid. They integrated.
That's true.
They integrated.
They
Well,
They
they
did.
did.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if Nero's integrated, but he's there.
He's there.
People accept him being around.
Yeah.
Jesse does.
That's true.
Okay.
Yoshida with
Yoshida.
the Knights Blessed, I guess.
Yeah. There's some.
No, I think that's one of the. That's
she's one of the V.
Vieira.
Oh yeah,
the
the
V's.
yeah. Because you can see
Defender
you can
people.
see the details in the background. It's that Ronken design.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Much
why are we
nicer
here?
than Allegan, IMO.
I don't know why they would be there. Is there
Maybe they're going
anything-
back to the cave painting stuff,
Well, maybe.
or just looking around the area.
Possibly, but this is on the non. This is on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Ranjit's back.
Oh.
Hell no.
You thought you'd got rid of me. No.
Yeah.
There's nothing you
There's
can
nothing.
infer from this.
Nothing from this picture. Okay, so that's the MSQ teaser. Next, we have Eden's verse. We get to see her face now in
yeah.
Engine. She's got
Can I say
lips.
She's got big lips.
Are you gonna say the bad thing?
Don't
No.
say anything, Rollo.
I
Be
don't
quiet.
think it's a bad thing.
No, but I
What are
don't
you
think.
gonna say then?
Wait,
No.
is this gonna get us muted
No.
or fucking
It's gonna
demonetized?
get us muted.
No. It's the podcast. Give me a break.
Oh well, I don't know. Okay, go on.
It's the goth girlfriend, finally.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, with her well-defined fingers.
Yes, those are like sincerely some of the plumpest lips I've seen in 14.
Yeah, that
Yes,
is.
they are.
That is a lot of lip.
Well,
more-
I did bring
relaxed
attention
lips,
to
I
it
guess.
eventually, but at least you didn't say the thing I was afraid you'd say.
Yeah. Okay.
What did you
Moving
think I was
on.
gonna
No,
say?
shut
No.
up. This is the podcast.
No. We're not
Having
going to talk
taken
about
control of the gargantuan sin eater known as Eden, Reen continues her quest to restore the dormant elements of the empty, with Urianger, Thancred, and the Warrior of Darkness by her side every step of the way. Yet the awakening of an enigmatic young woman may put the mission in jeopardy. Will this erstwhile foe continue to pose a threat, or is there more to her heart than darkness?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom
yeah.
Hearts.
I like that they've separated things that are happening on the first and the source on the site.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. It doesn't really tell us
You
much
can
more.
zoom in on her, I guess, but
You
I
can.
don't- I'm done with her.
We know that
Okay.
she wakes up.
Yeah. Wake
yeah,
up.
she's going to become
Wake up.
part of the story for a bit.
Yeah.
At least the raid storyline.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
think she will stick around afterward?
It's too
I
hard to
kind
tell,
of
I'd say.
hope so. If she's as important as being the Oracle of Darkness thing,
Yeah.
like
And
the
seemingly being from the void.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's very interesting. She should meet Unulkulai.
It'd be sad to send
Yeah.
her back to the void. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
I have to go now.
go.
Yeah.
The shard needs me.
um,
She
Go
does look like an
meet
older
up with-
Reem, though.
She's supposed to be the
Sort of.
same age, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. That's okay. Right. Next. Anamnesis
Hey.
and Nider. Deep in the tempest, deeper still than the phantom Amarot of Emmet Selk's design, lies what remains of a Nider's ancient edifices. What slumbers forgotten in this bed of knowledge, even the Ondo know not.
Well,
to
this
be-
picture...
Hmm.
This looks like the actual Amaratine ruins rather than a recreation.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like an actual rune.
Yeah, it does.
I don't like the Sestasha foliage, but I do like the background.
Do you like that they left the chest in
Yeah, I
there?
was about to say
I
there's a chest
do.
down
It
there.
looks a
Where
bit
is it?
squashed.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, there
It does look a
Yeah.
bit squashed.
Did they
It's
just
very
Photoshop that in?
But then, I don't know. There's been a lot of...
Oh.
It's suffered a lot of water-based pressure.
Mm.
Do
until
you know
very
what would be
recently.
really good if, when it opens, bubbles come out?
Oh,
Why would bubbles come out?
It's like one
Not
of those fish
underwater
tank
right now.
toys.
yeah.
But it's not underwater right now.
It's not, Mela. We're not gonna. Do you think we're gonna
It'd
swim
be
around
cool
in this
if it was-
dungeon?
That
It
would be
cool
really
if it
funny.
was
That would've
filled with water.
Yeah. Next picture. Man.
It's like, what?
Big Oni demon.
Yeah.
How did he
Yeah.
survive down here? And why is he wearing like a toga?
'Cause
And
he's-
little
he's-
boots with his little hooves
Hey.
poking out.
Oh yeah.
What's the scariest thing in this picture?
It's like he's had to wear underwear on his feet.
It's the Shire
is-
gear.
Yeah, it does look like the Shire gear.
Yeah.
It is. It's just Shire gear.
Yeah.
Which is annoying because Shire gear is already dyeable. So if they're just
Yeah.
giving us the Shire gear again, I'll be a little bit annoyed.
I mean, I don't know what
How
the
are
text
these lamp-
but I think it's
How
just
are
the
these
ring gear.
lamps still
I was
working?
about to say that, but I thought maybe we're too nitpicky now. But why is the power still on if this is an actual ruin? Yeah.
I mean, it
What
could be
weapons are
magic
these?
that's been keeping
Oh,
it
it's
running
just
all this
magic.
time.
Yeah, magic limp.
Magic.
Are
lamp.
these the tombstone weapons?
Isn't that just the
Or is it
the-
relics?
the crafted weapons from last patch?
I don't.
I guess
couldn't
so.
speak
It
to
could
that.
be.
At least that's what I think it is with the dark Knight weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I pers-
I don't think I've
I
ever
don't know.
seen that.
All right.
But
Okay, the source.
source.
We're returning to the source. In Chronicles of a New Era, the sorrow of Werlit. The Garlean Empire seeks to break this. Okay, this actually reveals that the Gaius thing is this, because here are the people in that first tweet with Gaius.
It's a new hairstyle.
That too. Yeah, we'll look at it again. The Garlean Empire seeks to break the stalemate with Eorzean forces by unleashing the culmination of its twisted experimentation, a brutal war machina that exists only to destroy. On both sides of the battlefield, shadows of the past loom large as the decisive clash draws ever closer.
Civil War right now.
I don't like that ruby weapon. It's just some Garlean thing. It's got to be Allegan in origin, though. Right?
It is obviously. It has to.
Well,
it's everything Garlean is technically from Allegan, so it's Allegan tech for sure, but it's Garlean
I want it to
design.
be a thing. It looks like a thing, but it isn't a thing. Like
what
a
do you mean you
thing.
want?
What?
I mean, it's got teeth, but
remember
it's
the
just a war
final
machina.
boss. Remember the final boss of Castrum Urbania? They make things that look like
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. They're very close to doing what the Allegans did.
organic.
Yeah.
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 Here is a new hairstyle on the Aura to the left, right? Is that the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't recognize the woman Aura's hairstyle either, but I could.
I
yeah.
think it's...
Might just
Oh,
be
is that
think
new
they're
as
both
well?
exclusive.
Okay. All right.
They're cute.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
He does not. His hair does not match his face. I'll say that much.
No. I feel like also their clothing might be a clue as to what the technology used in the ruby weapon is, because that's Allegan. That's late Allegan.
Yeah, that's
by the way.
that's the late Allegan gear, the PvP gear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I guess well, we already
You can
know
see
that
him because they've got joints in their elbows.
Oh, they do. They're like those posable figures.
the
Figurines.
dolls,
Yeah.
How does that work, though? Because
Don't
how
worry
do you
about it.
Don't think
fit
about it.
your arm through there?
Don't think about it.
It's a semicircle, I guess.
Well,
It's
that's
like
pointless.
right in the pit of your arm
Yeah.
elbow thing. What's
Mm.
up?
Your elbow pet.
Oh, it's got a
yeah.
useless zip too.
Yeah. Don't look at it too much. We'll close that picture now.
It zips nothing.
Ruby weapon better be a damn good fight.
We got official renders of Goth Girlfriend and Gaius as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gaia.
I want to admire him.
There's Gaia and
handsome
Gaius.
man.
Oh yeah,
Um.
that's funny.
I like that we're getting official renders of characters each patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. We get to see them
We
in their
got-
full outfits and stuff.
We got the Exarch and Ardbear last patch.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of Gaius's hair?
It's cool. I want it.
It's cool.
Nice.
It's very big though, isn't it?
It is very big.
It's very tall.
Yeah. He's got like what they did in France in the 1800s, but like old bread in there to like lift it up.
What?
They did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
It reminds
believe you.
me.
Bread.
It reminds me of a character in Desperate Housewives.
Gaius?
That's a very. That's a reference.
Gaius.
The hairstyle.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, interesting. Back to the show.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh wow.
Let's switch back. Okay, so that was the 5.2 website. I'm assuming we won't get another update until after the live letter, which is next week. Friday. No, Thursday. I keep saying Friday.
No, 6th.
26th.
I just opened the calendar and immediately looked
It's
towards
on
the
the
bottom because I thought we were
6th.
still in January.
It's it's the
No,
6th.
it's the 6th.
At 10. No.
11 GMT, I believe.
Yeah.
But that is just
11
from memory.
GMT, 12 Central. I think. Don't
Yeah.
listen. Go back and watch the
What
previous
time-
episode because we'll say the correct time then.
Yeah.
What time is it in America, Rollo?
It's like 5 or 6 a.m.
Ah, yes. So you won't be
Yeah,
awake.
it's 5 or 6.
I-
Yeah, we've
no, I like
already gone through this last episode.
I sleep in.
Okay, right. Main story time. There's an interview that's been released by Daily Star with Yoshi-P. We read an interview last week, and I'm a little. All interviews with Yoshi-P have to they always start with oh, you did this amazing thing. So we're gonna have to suffer through that a little bit, I think.
Mabel, talk to me about the Daily Star and how this is interesting.
Well, it's just a national newspaper. It's printed. I mean, it's kind of
tabloid or a broadsheet?
Tabloid.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, if you go on their website, it's, I'd say about 80% like
Celebrity.
scantily clad women.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's one of those sort of
So
papers.
in between all the scantily clad women, you'd find this little gem with Yoshi-P.
It's so bizarre.
Well, okay,
yeah.
I don't have these kind of newspapers in Australia,
Okay.
so I'm not aware of these scantily clad women newspapers.
Wow.
Okay. It's been nearly 6 months since the gates were thrown wide to the world of the show. So they get that reference. So someone at the Daily Star has at least
This is their video game
played,
department.
yeah, the game.
Have a video game department, apparently.
Yeah. Sitting down with producer and director Naoki Yoshida, we discussed the game's critical and commercial success, how it was achieved, and working with Yoko Taro on the crossover, even with Nier Automata.
Do you like how Yoko Taro has a dash between it, like it's his one name?
Yeah.
I like that.
Looking at the critical and commercial success of Shadowbringers, how has the development team reacted to that? We already kind of know this, but in all honesty,
I can't get over this.
everyone just felt so happy. No, they cannot. Everything just comes back to how grateful we are for the praise that we received. Even though you create and put time and effort in, if you get recognition from everyone, then you will have this sense of enjoyment. Because it's an MMO and a live service, just after having a 2-week break, the development team have to get back to work. 5.1 was waiting, and some of the team right need to work on 6.0, and some of the parts need my approval.
I assume that means might.
Yeah. Oh God. And
You can tell the quality of the newspaper with the editing of this.
Yeah. What was the approach to developing? Remember when we read? Sorry, just a side note. I just remembered that we once read a Google translated interview without telling anyone that we were doing it, and we tried to read it straight faced, and we read the entire interview. Remember that?
I do remember that.
That was weird. I wish we could do that again. People get so angry.
Let's surprise someone.
Yeah, because nothing made sense. Like Merlwyb's name was like Burl Bob or something. It was just complete.
Wasn't that where like the Bimps of Berminster?
Yeah, Bims. Yeah, it was some. Yeah, it was.
We
great.
could have done the second story like that if no one ended up translating
That's
it.
true. Yeah, we could have.
Limsa.
Yeah, Limsa Lomsa. Sorry. What was the approach to developing Shadowbringers, and was anything done differently compared to other expansions that could be attributed to its success? Yoshida said there hasn't been any particular approach that we took just for the sake of Shadowbringers. So the approach hasn't changed at all for Shadowbringers. What's important is aim for better, aim higher, have even greater confidence to make the best story. Each developer has the same mindset that they want to aim higher, and that hasn't changed and won't ever change. I've been working on this project for more than 6 years, and even I have improved significantly. Even him. Mm-hmm. This is the same for everyone in the development team. The team have been able to express themselves in this expansion, so that was the main factor that could be attributed to the success of Shadowbringers.
What was the case before? They couldn't express themselves? What does that mean?
No, they couldn't.
Under Tanaka's rule.
Yeah,
you will make the bad game, and you will not like
but
it.
He specifically says this expansion.
Yeah. Okay, let's skip ahead a little bit. How Final Fantasy XIV uses global community events to bolster its loyal, passionate fans. Final Fantasy remakes...
Why did you skip the part where he talks about it being a TV drama? Again?
No, because we've heard it before, Georgi. I'm skipping
I like
the shit.
It, though.
It's like a TV show.
Final Fantasy...
It's like Game of Thrones.
Okay. Final Fantasy remakes can wait. You need to try Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers...
I think that's a title from the article. So that's why it doesn't make sense.
Talking of the story, what was your personal favorite while going through the expansion? Yoshida says, that's a tough question. Being in the development team, I'm involved with lots of adjustments and tweaking during creations, so I see all the cutscenes, and while in development, I give feedback on if a cutscene should be bringing up the tension in certain parts. I had to play Shadowbringers 4 times, so it's hard to have one favorite part. Imagine that.
I'm halfway there, Yoshi-P.
If I needed to pick one, there's a scene after you complete a dungeon in a cave where you see the murals that is the dream that the Ancients saw, which is about the war between Hydaelyn and Zodiark. And Metzelk takes the whole party to the cave and talks about the war, and Y'shtola and other NPCs were surprised by his revelation about what had happened. This struck really hard to me.
Mm.
I think everyone liked palling around with Emmett Silk in the first place.
Yeah.
Mm.
This scene really underlining the story of Shadowbringers. Everyone is in a different position. The view of winners will be different to those that have lost, and the truth that they may tell will also be different. There's not really any point in arguing who is right or wrong, but what is really important is to understand that there are so many views, and we need to accept it. How can we move forward by us understanding each other? This was more just for Shadowbringers, but it's also a common theme through Eorzea and 14. What Emmett Selk was expressing is his view that this is my opinion, not requiring approval from anyone because this is what I believe. He doesn't even reject what Hydaelyn is saying, he just accepts it.
Hydaelyn.
Yeah, Hydaelyn. What he expressed in that scene was how great ancients are and the deep understanding they have with people who have different opinions to themselves.
Do they though?
I guess.
That's not what it seemed like.
Emmett Selk in particular has become an absolute fan favorite villain, not just with 14, but stacked up against any other Final Fantasy. What makes them different compared to previous villains? Yoshida says. Yeah?
I feel like people said this about Xenos. Like this,
Did they?
in like an interview.
They did say
Initially, I believe so. In the early Stormblood. First actual Stormblood, I think. Yeah.
Emmett Selk was voted 11th in some sort of official Final Fantasy poll that will get fully revealed later this month on the I was going to say the NRK. The NHK.
Okay. Okay. Yoshida says, there are several points that I'd like to make, but by saying some of them, I may let some people down on their interpretation of the Emmett Selk character. They're a unique character. They were a tool to tell some of the mysteries that 14 has had. Like, what is an Ascian? I can't even say Ascian. Ascian? Ascian.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of people are they? Even I can't believe I had to double take Ascian. What kind of people are they? Still bad contacts people. Even though he was villain, he was a villain. He is a part of the party at certain. I looked up at the lights and now I'm blinded. He is a part of the party at certain parts of the storyline, which allowed players to become more connected and feel his emotions. He was an integral character, but if I go into any more detail, I may let people down.
What does that mean?
What? What is it?
I don't know. Is he just trying to be coy and mysterious for no reason?
I guess he just doesn't want to say too much about what they thought of the character when making him or something.
I guess.
Because then it's like, well, I thought he was like,
yeah.
You know.
To tell the story of 14, this is necessary for players to understand the Ascians and who they are. Otherwise, it'll affect narrative development, and for those players to enjoy the story going forward. Not just the character design, but the narrative designer and the modeling. So there was a lot of effort to bring out the true character of Emmett Selk. This doesn't mean that he's the only character that has this kind of attention. Other characters also have this level of detail. Other characters go through the same level of development. There are several phenomenal characters in 14, like the Crystal Exarch and Ardbert. The thing they have in common is that they are all watching you, the main character, sharing your emotions, have love towards you, sometimes jealous, but they have their own opinion.
You heard him. They have love towards you, sometimes jealous.
Yeah. You heard that.
But they have their own opinion.
Ardbert being sometimes jealous, and I guess Crystal Exarch has love towards you?
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
weird.
jealous.
He
Sometimes
talks about being
jealous.
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes jealous.
It's a weird It's a weird combination of
Sometimes jealous.
Have love towards you. Okay, I'm not going to cover that Yoko Taro part because we've already done this.
We've heard enough about him recently.
Yeah, I also didn't like that interview. Next,
He
Famitsu.
says that next. It reminds us that Yoko Taro hasn't finished the story yet.
Yeah, because he hates the game. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Famitsu interview now. This is, well, it's a fan translation translated by a carrier of light on the 14
Can
subreddit.
we coin the term fanslation?
Oh, fanslation? Hell yeah, let's do that.
I guarantee you that is not the term you'll coin for the first time.
No, it is definitely
It's
not.
still not a big.
But
it's
we
not
will
commonly
use that
used.
now. We will call it that now. Fanslation. Okay, so we had the opportunity to interview. So the way Famitsu does interviews is that they'll have this big interview and then they'll split it into parts. So this is a two-part interview. Yeah, to get the clicks. But they actually Famitsu's credit, the parts of the interview are usually quite long. It's
Very
not,
long.
Yeah. Some other scummier websites will have like 2 questions and like stay tuned for part 2 through 9.
Famitsu has much easier access to the developers, to Japanese developers, than a lot of Western magazines and websites.
The Daily Star managed to get an interview with Yoshida.
I don't.
Why can't we?
Yeah. Okay, Famitsu. We had the opportunity to do Sorry. We had the opportunity to interview 4 battle devs who designed each of the Eden's Gate Savage raids. We'll be discussing...
Really?
We'll be discussing deep topics starting with how they join the team and how they plan out content. The concept behind each floor and how they differentiate between the Savage and normal modes. We will deliver this interview by splitting it in 2 parts. Before we had this interview, the devs gave us files that listed all the content designed by each of them, and those files were interesting enough by themselves. I'm sure Final Fantasy XIV players will have fun finding the culprit. I mean, the answers. Answer to the question, who came up with that mechanic, and grin as they read.
Do you think their files have names like yours?
What do you mean? Names like...
You know the names that you use for your document files?
Like poo and fart?
Yeah, do you think they name things like that?
That would be very funny. I hope they
Everyone
do.
does,
At least one folder that's just called like bum flap in the wind.
Bum flap, bum wee wee.
Yeah.
That's Melwood's
I have a
character.
full folder where all of my like Fallen Rice graphics are stored. That one's called bum flap. And then if you click in, if I want to get any animated overlays, I have to go into the which one? It's the shart. There's a shart folder.
This has got to seriously slow down your workflow.
Yeah, but I remember.
Yeah,
them.
that's what I was thinking as well.
The problem is that I remember it now. So if I change them to actual names, I won't find the things that I need. So I don't do that anymore. I have a better work.
Are you not worried that if you ever go into industry, that you'll say, "But where's the poo folder?"
That's true. Anyways, back to this. The designers of each floor gathered. One of them with an unexpected career. This time we got all the designers who created the Eden's Gate raids in one spot, but outside of Nakagawa, which is Mr. Ozma, none of the other 3 have shown up in media interviews, so I'd like you to introduce yourselves and your backgrounds. I don't think we should go through all of this, because this is a lot of background, and I think we should know who most of these are, and like especially Ozma.
Do we know the other ones?
No, this is the first time.
Nakagawa? Do we not know?
Nakagawa and Daisuke Nakagawa.
Daisuke Nakagawa.
Don't say Nakagawa, because Mr. Ozma has the last name Nakagawa as well.
Oh
so
my
don't
god,
just say that
there are 2 Nakagawas. Oh my god, but we
it's
know
a common
Mr.
Japanese
Ozma.
name.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah. So Mr. Ozma,
I'm just saying, we probably don't know who these people are, is my point.
I will call Mr. Ozma, and then the other one will be Nakagawa.
Okay.
Nakagawa. I'm not going to read Ozma because we already know about Ozma, and we need to cut time. So here's the other Nakagawa to avoid confusion. They will call him Daisuke. So I guess, I call him Nakagawa. Understood. I joined the team in January 2015, which was during the latter half of the Heavensward development. Then I designed Nidhogg, and I've been in charge of designing the 4th floor of each raid since Omega Sigmascape.
Wow.
He does the last ones. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Famitsu says, hold on, if you joined Square Enix in 2015, were you a player before then? Nakagawa says, exactly so. To be honest, my previous job had nothing to do with games, and I was an engineer who made firmware for industrial computers. I was a long-time 14 player, and at one point I wanted to challenge my dream of becoming a game designer. So I applied to the 14 development team and somehow passed.
Oh, that sounds crushingly dull. Firmware for industrial computers.
Yeah.
And now look what he does.
Yeah.
Now we make video games.
Yeah.
So maybe you should have stuck to programming, Mailer.
I know. I'll go back.
Famitsu, okay, I'm skipping ahead a little. I heard that you're the suspect who said, I'll use Pseudo's Turn 7, the Lamia from Coil, as a bad example to learn from and work hard when you were new to the team. Pseudo is the dev who designed Thornton A3S, A8S, Unending Coil, etc. etc.
A3S!
Yeah.
What an achievement.
Nakarava says, it
Most
was
evil man ever.
She says it was supposed to be a small joke when I said that, but blew up after Yoshida and Pseudo brought it up and exaggerated it. Real talk, I learned a lot from Pseudo, and the current me is made up of a combination of the good parts from Pseudo and Mr. Ozma. Pseudo taught me that you can't give up on coming up with unique mechanics. Next, I'd like, oh my god, how do I even pronounce his name?
Nabeshima.
Nabeshima, to introduce yourself. Nabeshima says, I joined the company in December 2010. I was originally an event designer for 14 1.0. Event designer.
An event designer?
So like seasonal events. So he made the bells, everyone. He made us ring the bells.
Oh,
Nice man.
Legendary man.
Yeah.
What was he doing like the rest of the year? Because it's not exactly...
Designed a new type of bell.
Yeah.
But it's not exactly strenuous work. Does he have 3 months to work on every bell?
What should we give for Little Ladies' Day? What about a peach branch?
This event will give
Game
no
changer,
reward.
everyone. How about powdered sugar? Everyone in the room goes,
Give him a raise. Give him a raise.
I mean, look at the position he's in now, so they must have liked it.
yeah. And I was assigned to the event team exactly 1 day before Yoshida took over the world. So he had 1 day of OG 1.0.
The world, did you say?
What? Took over the world. Yeah, he did say that.
It's true.
Okay, so he didn't do any of those things.
No. Well, no, they still had those events after Yoshida went up because that was standard. So he must have.
Never did it. He was assigned to the event team 1 day before Yoshida joined. So
Yeah, the event team.
Okay.
Yeah, so he did the events. So he was. Yeah, he's been on the event team since then. And then Famitsu writer says, I can't come up with a better timing. Nabeshima says, I was developing an online game for a different company before that, and when I was thinking about finding a new job and applied to Square Enix, I passed. And then he laughs.
I don't know why that's so funny.
It sounds like he just said, I decided not to.
Yeah.
I passed.
Did you choose to join the 14 team when you changed jobs? He says, after all, I wanted to develop an online game, and during the job interview, they told me, then you'll be sent to the 14 team. And I thought, yes. Would you say yes? Would you say yes at that point? Because you would know that shit is going down. It's like a burning ship. It's like they're saying, how about we give you the shittiest job? How about that sinking ship over there?
He's like in his head thinking, 11.
Yeah,
11.
it's like 11.
14. Oh, no.
It's like the sorting hat. Okay. 14 was in a terrible mess back then, right? Even the Famitsu writer is like, I don't think. Did you really say yes? Nabeshima says, Yoshida wasn't there at first, and I was worried about where things were going. But I had some time to charge myself back up after my previous job, and I just wanted to work ASAP. And then Yoshida came along and told me, the tired team, to take a proper rest. So I was like, I just got off rest. You were physically and mentally charged up, and you still had to hit the brakes. Right. After planning the Moonfire Fair in 1.0, I got transferred to the 2.0 team and became the first event designer there. He did Moonfire Fair, which is one of the better ones in 1.0. So there was no bell in Moonfire Fair. There was.
So he's not the bell guy.
He was not the bell guy. So he's one of the good guys.
I assume it's possible that he did ones before.
Yeah,
that.
he probably did.
That was the last one he did before he was transferred.
Yeah. Next, we'd like to hear from Kawamoto. How many people? Oh, this is the last one.
4.
It's 4.
Yeah, Kawamoto said, I joined the Battle System team in December 2013, right after a Realm
September.
Reborn. What did I say? September.
December.
Oh. Right after A Realm Reborn launched, I was mainly doing job adjustments and planning, while I was assigned to teams that needed help to design content. What got you to join the 14 team? Yokozawa, who was already in the 14 dev team, invited me. Him and I played games together back then, but I didn't even imagine working in the game industry. And since he invited me, I thought I might as well give it a try. Everyone laughed. Oh, the interview's about to end without even talking about raids. Okay, let's find the actual question. please tell us your policy when designing battle content. Mr. Ozma says, I feel like this will take 2 hours by itself. I'd prefer if you could shorten it a little. Mr. Ozma says, then I'll talk about the 3 main points. The first is the battle content being interesting, on top of the lore and story behind the boss making proper sense and fitting in naturally. Using Sophia as an example, she's all about equilibrium and harmony, and in that case, we thought we should design mechanics and plan along those lines. That's how we came up with the tilting stage as a mechanic to symbolize a balance. So you're saying lore should be part of the gameplay and should be expressed with content as a whole. Mr. Osma says, yes, the second point involved in designing content is being conscious about using new ideas as mechanics we haven't used before to provide surprises to the players. Each 14 update adds a variety of new content, and having new ideas and mechanics for every single one of them is extremely difficult. But we also think it'll be over if players get bored. So I always tell the team how we have to continue challenging something new. You've been running 14 for over 6 years now, and I'm sure there are many players who are surprised at how you continue to come up with new mechanics, and it seems that that's part of your challenge. What's the third point? Mr. Osma continues, the third is creating content that will remain in the player's memory. I've been a game designer for about 8 years now, and sometimes I almost fall into the hole of being safe and creating something that players won't criticize. Final Fantasy XIV has an update every 3.5 months or so, and we continue to receive an enormous amount of feedback after every patch, and we can't avoid witnessing players criticizing what we've made. And when you're stuck in that situation for a certain period, you tend to shift to wanting to make content that won't be criticized instead of making interesting or fun content. When you fall into that way of thinking, your creativity will vanish, and there's a risk of only being able to design content that scores around 70 to 100 points. 70 out of 100 points, and won't be remembered by anybody. To simply put it, I personally think that content where 50 out of 100 people rated 100 out of 100, and the other 50 people rated 40 out of 100, is better than content where everybody hates it, 70 out of 100.
Everybody rates it.
Everybody rates it.
You need to sort your contacts out.
I need to sort my contacts out. Of course, aiming for content where all 100 people give it 100 out of 100 is a premise.
That one doesn't make sense.
What do you mean it doesn't make sense?
Aiming for content where 100 people give it 100 out of 100 is a premise?
Well, the premise is probably the wrong word, but
yeah.
That's the goal, I think, is what it's meant to say.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that a major problem that symbolizes how the modern internet consists of so many anonymous comments. Nakagawa says, I'm sure the other 3 devs here have gone through that emotion of trying to be safe before, and also noticing how you won't be able to create interesting content if you give in to yourself. We need to cut some...
That's how we got to Eureka.
Yeah.
And some people still really like Eureka. I mean, probably not now.
No. I wonder what's going to happen with that now when the new things come out. But
it really needs to be made solo friendly.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to jump. I'm jumping far down this interview, by the way, because I'm.
Oh, okay.
This is a lot.
Oh my god, this is a long interview. I didn't realize.
Very, very long.
It's a massive interview, and I told you.
Well, we would look at it. Imagine how much trouble we would be in now, Georgi, if we hadn't had this interview. Look at the time.
We have MogMail.
Yeah, but we've been reading this for half an hour, like 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, sorry. Okay, it's common to see players streaming their progression these days. Do you watch any of them? Mr. Osma says, we all do. Kawamoto says, the scariest is when the progression continues throughout the weekend because I need to pray no bugs show up during our break. Mr. Osma says, the harder the content is, the more pressure we're under because there can't be any loopholes, and the pinnacle of that is the Ultimate Series. I'm sure Daisuke was under all of that pressure during the Alexander progression. Nakagawa says, I was too scared to even look at the feedback. I stayed away from all social media.
Oh, why?
I guess
the ultimate stuff's unanimously praised as being just brilliant.
Yeah, but what you would tend to do if you've made stuff like that is that you start to look for the bad shit. I think that's
Well,
what
I
it
guess,
is.
yeah.
Yokosawa, sorry, Mr. Osma says, Yokosawa and I, who sit next to him, would talk about how far players progressed, so there was no point in hiding. Nakagawa said, I heard it all. I've had anxiety issues before, but I've never felt that much pressure. Sudo and Yokosawa enjoyed watching their own ultimate fights on stream, but you sound like the opposite type. Mr. Osma says, I need to train more and more. I think it's about getting used to it. Before Masaki said it's not difficult at all. Because Masaki said it's not difficult at all. What? What is that sentence? I think it's about getting used to it because Masaki said it's not difficult at all.
To enjoy watching.
Watching the
stream your content, I guess.
Mr. Osma. I've been doing this for 8 years, so I don't see the difficulty in creating my own content. But the difficult part is passing on the knowledge and experience I earned to the next generation. I've made some manuals to follow, but reading a manual doesn't suddenly make you an expert at designing savage raids. Teaching someone is difficult. This sounds like a fucking, like, he brings out like a fat grimoire. It's like, these are the sacred texts.
The sacred texts.
The sacred texts!
So I made something this weekend.
Is it a matter of talent, Famitsu asks. Osma says, if someone asked you, how do you come up with such a mechanic in just a week? You can't answer it properly. However, I can't just say, I don't know, use your own brains, so I need to support them, and concluding it with talent doesn't sound right either. If we aren't able to lead the new designers and guide them so they can come up with their own ideas when they are stuck, they will never grow.
Just draw the rest of the owl. The circle, and then draw the rest of it.
Yeah.
You can probably skip to the next part.
Are there any mechanics you have a habit of using? Nakagawa says, when it comes to the 4th floor of each raid, mechanics where you have to look at the boss. Kefka's wings in 08S and Omega's beams in 012S. Running out of ideas. I also commonly use mechanics where you have 2 options to choose from, like going up or down in the Titan fight. I prefer mechanics where the solution isn't always the same, and even though there are set patterns, there are more than one solution to the mechanic as a whole. That's pretty, I like that. Ozma, they all have their own habits. Nabishima says, I like using mechanics where all the players move as a pack and do the same movement together. I try to draw a picture in my head where everyone is facing one huge threat together, but that backfired on me this raid. Bitter smile.
How do you express a bitter smile?
This is a joke. This is a joke that has been done before.
We're not doing this again. Nakagawa, Mr. Osma, I have my own policy when designing dungeons as well, and just because it's a dungeon you run over and over again, I keep telling other devs that you can't just make it easy because it's a dungeon. The new staff tends to think everybody needs to be able to solve it, so the penalties from the mechanics need to be forgiving, but I think that's wrong.
Good.
I kind of agree. I can see why they think, like, sometimes they'll be like, oh, I have to run this in expert roulette. I don't really do expert roulette, but at some point I have to get the tomes. So if it's a mechanic that like new players keep failing every time you get it in the roulette, I can see that being annoying.
Yeah, but come on, we've been doing dungeons since like level 15.
Yeah, especially now that we're only going to get 1 per patch. I would expect more stuff.
What was the last dungeon like that held up a large section of the player base?
The Amdapor Keep.
The original Keep was a long time ago, Lakil. I'm talking about the most...
Oh, you're... Okay, I thought you meant of all time.
What did people struggle with in the burn? The dragon?
The Mist Dragon.
The Mist Dragon.
Yeah, the Mist Dragon,
It was pretty tough. Yeah, it was a good fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I think it's a good fight, but it's definitely like if you're not like on your toes as a healer or tank, or even as DPS too, you can very easily just have to wipe.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. What was the old Pharos? I only have old ones, but
I mean, Pharos Sirius was so hard back in the day that you'd often see like timeouts.
Yeah, yeah. The same thing with Amdapor Keep, by the way, which is surprising considering it's an A Realm Reborn dungeon. It was so bad they had to nerf it twice. So that getting Amdapur Keep,
unrecognizable
yeah,
in its current form.
It is. I remember getting Amdapur Keep on Expert Roulette and knowing that I was going to be here for a very long time, and there's a high chance that I won't even get out of here and like before the time runs out. Because remember the bees with Demon Wall, awful.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that's it for the interview.
Yeah, let's crack some MogMail
Let's
out.
crack up some MogMails. Let's make a MogMail omelet. Okay, here we go.
Bacon in mine.
Okay, I'll put some bacon in yours. Actually,
Thank
it's
you.
bacon. It's made of.
Bacon.
It's faken, and the actual ingredient is toenail clippings.
Crunchy.
Okay, the first MogMail is from Coffee from Ragnarok. Coffee?
Maybe coffee.
Yo,
Coffee.
I had a MogMail already explaining what the Wayward Warrior, who by the way is going to be the tank for the trust system in the next dungeon, rip hype for the full Asian party, had Emmet's soul inside Arbert's body, but then I realized that Asians can come and go from shard to shard. Elidibus has a reputation for illegally transferring Warriors of Light. He's probably the one that retrieved Ardbert's body. He said that the Warrior of Darkness will go down by the hand of the Warrior of Light. So, yeah, might be. Still want him to be Emmet, though. Anyway, there's another real question for you guys to chew on. What do you think about Mughals, dragons, Amaro, etc.? Do you think they have fragments of souls of the ancients? Maybe from the other cities around the original star or from other life forms? Or are they just new life of their own, born after the Sundering? Take care. Okay, that second one is very interesting as well. But let's discuss.
Not all Asians can shard hop. They're only the special ones.
Yeah.
Only the 3.
Yeah.
The
Unsundered ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that we know of,
no,
at
because,
least, right?
No, Ikiom was the one that caused the void to become what it is, and then we saw her on out.
Was she not
on the source?
The Unsundered though?
No, she wasn't.
She was not. But she might have used. They might have used.
Just like maybe
they used the Crystal Tower. I don't know. We don't know how.
I feel like that's.
I don't think they used the Crystal Tower. I feel like we would have heard about it. I feel like the Exarch would have known.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like an Unsundered Asian can just pluck someone out if they feel like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what they've said about the Asians that were sundered is that when one dies, they can just replace them with the soul, another split of that Asian's soul from a different shard.
Oh yeah, right.
Assumedly not if they get destroyed in a way similar to Igiorn, but if they're destroyed in a normal manner.
Yeah. This Emmet's soul inside Arbert's body, I didn't know that was what people thought.
I hope that isn't the case.
No.
Much they like Emmet, I don't want to see.
No, don't do a Xenos with Emmet, please, because it's going to be the same thing.
No, don't.
I want to see him just in flashbacks.
As sad as I am that Emmet is gone, that's fine because he died.
People can die.
Sad. Yeah, we can be sad that Emmet's gone, but he is dead. So we can see him in flashbacks. Yeah, like Rollo said, we can see him in flashbacks. So yeah, I think it's gonna be if someone's inside him, it would have to be Elidibus in my opinion, because that makes
who's
the
the
most
other
sense.
dude?
Oh, the wild card that we talked
yeah,
about.
That's the other. Then it's like, can he do it once? Does he just like?
It's just Asahi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think I'm one of the only people that's kind of happy that Asahi's alive. If it's true.
No, not Asahi.
Why?
I feel like Asahi being alive.
He's a piece of shit. I think that's funny. I like having a character like that.
It might not. What if it's not like just his body though? It might be someone.
I also always felt that Asahi's storyline was cut off before it was supposed to be.
I
thought
see
there was
that.
more to it.
Yeah,
Could it not
true.
be Pashtarot?
Are we just looking up potential Asians.
I knew there was another one that hadn't been used though.
Yeah.
It was him.
There are a few Asians that it could be, but
I'd rather they introduced a new Asian than brought Asahi back.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm the lost Asian. I was somewhere in between realms for a little while, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I agree with Georgi in a way that he was an underdeveloped character.
Mm-hmm. That I agree
but
with. Yeah, there
he
his
was
whole
also
storyline.
just annoying, and I'm glad he's dead.
Well, we got the satisfaction of watching him die.
That was a good scene. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But if you
And
brought him back, that would like
we
really
can-
undermine that scene.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because the thing is, he dies just as he's getting interesting when he's going fucking crazy about Xenos.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
That's true.
We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. The second question was, what do you think about Moogles, dragons, Amaro, etc.? Are they fragments of
That's a
souls of the
difficult
ancients?
question.
Well, I think those are different things, because I definitely don't think the dragons are related to the ancients at all.
No.
No.
And
But
Moogles
that
are
brings
interesting
up this
because of their-
whole question. I feel like we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Dragon, like, is the universe part of the world? So
It's
Yeah.
kind of
yeah.
it's frustrating because I don't believe we'll ever get an answer.
No.
Because I think, I think I've said this before, but in an interview, Koji Fox has said that don't worry about where the dragons came from; it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
But-
what if the ancients just made some little dragons and like, oh, this is kind of cute,
Yeah.
and they fired them from a cannon into space and forgot about them?
Why did they make? Why did they make them aliens?
I
It
think it's
really
very
They made
bothers
them
me.
good.
aliens by
Point.
firing them into space.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they forgot that they were. Well, you know what happened because
Mm.
the traumatic event being fired through a cannon.
The fact that they are from another planet is very interesting as a plot point, but it falls
it
down in a
doesn't
few
work
places with the split, and
Mhm.
in a way, I feel like it's unusual that all the dragons decided to congregate around and then try and attack Ishgard.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
That's
only one horde.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
It is kind of trivial, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like compared to what's happened, to like, oh, this little fucking city state.
Yeah.
Is like they stole some dude's eye or whatever.
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
It's-
Moogles are interesting though, because they
Yeah.
came down from the Sea of Clouds into
According
the
to them.
Twelveswood.
Yeah.
Well, they
I could
both have a version of the story, so
Yeah.
I believe it to be
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. I guess.
I could see that just being like an actual ancient creation or something. Like, I just made a little cute plush toy that talks. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'd
Same
love
with
to
the
see
model.
I'd love to see a dragon meet an Asian.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting conversation.
Mm. Yeah.
Also, we saw the Moogles with the blue poms,
Yeah.
but did they actually appear anywhere? I can't remember.
They make
The blue
very
comic
few
Moogles-
appearances.
Yeah.
But they
On
are
the first?
Yeah.
Oh,
on
they're the
first.
Nut Clan, aren't they? Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nutsies.
But they must be in a way. But actually, no, because there's versions of everything on the first one, so they must be split in somewhere, right?
I
But
don't
they just
know.
have different names. I think it's actually a very good question.
Yeah. The I don't know.
Because the fauna just tends to be generally the same between all the shards that
Yeah.
we know
What
so
is-
far.
Yeah.
Where does Omega even fit into this then?
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
he's an
we
interdimensional
can't
being.
think about
Yeah.
space because they decided to go there, and then they made this like whole like split world
Mhm.
thing. It doesn't work because it has to be each universe has to be tied to the world. So otherwise, you would be standing on like let's just pretend that this is happening on Earth. And the Earth was split into 13 shards. We're standing on Mars, looking down on Earth. Which fucking Earth are you looking at? Are you looking at
Yeah.
the or unsundered or the source or one of the 13 other or all of them at the same time? How
it's
confusing
like
to
a
land. You'd be like,
bubble.
oh, we have to land at 1 p.m. Because then we'll land on the first. We'll land on the first if we land at 1 p.m. Like that's very strange. See, so this.
So it must be the
space,
universe.
The universe has to be.
Maybe it's like a Schrodinger's cat where like you just don't know till you get there.
What is your obsession
Yeah.
with Schrodinger's cat?
There's a reason why he's
yeah,
obsessed
there
with
is,
it, but
but
it's
it
not
also
very...
very random because it doesn't really work,
You're
Rollo,
telling me.
because someone's
If you knew
already
why
landed. Someone's already
If you
landed.
knew where this came from, you'd understand why it doesn't make sense, because it doesn't make sense in the context it came from either.
No, it doesn't. Someone's already landed here,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
someone has done it already.
I know, but it's different until you perceive it.
We're
Shut
not
up,
going
Rollo.
down here.
Don't talk about this now.
No, we're not going here.
AJ brings up an interesting point that the Asians did speak with Tiamat. Unfortunately, we don't have any records
that's
of that
true.
conversation.
That's
That's
true.
true.
Yeah.
What would like an Ascian have to say to Omega?
What? What did you say?
Well,
So
that's
what
that's another question. How would Omega and an Asian interact?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Might just put him into a big combat.
We are
arena and make
talking
him
about
fight
forbidden
nostalgic
things.
bosses.
I think Koji would be very angry at us for talking about this. We're supposed to ignore this.
Don't think about it.
Space is off limits. Well,
spaceships on Eorzea.
they keep
Maybe they
talking
shouldn't have
about
put
the moon.
something on the moon.
Yeah. So.
That's an orbit. As long as it's an orbit around Heidelin, it's fine.
Yeah,
Sure.
but that's still in space.
Rollo,
Thank you.
what are you
Cafe.
saying? Of course.
I'm saying, are you saying that the moon on every single shard is the same moon?
No, that's the problem,
No.
isn't it? It's
Yeah,
in
that's the problem.
space. Did the
there a
did the
download
moon
on
get
it?
sundered? No, actually, we know about the moon because the moon is most likely tied to Zodiark on
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Heidelin. So that actually makes some
That
sense.
does,
yeah. But everything else, we can't talk about this because there's no answers. Literally no answers. But I think it should be like this: that the reality shattered. So each shard has its own universe.
It makes more sense for reality to have shattered.
Yeah.
It does.
But imagine if Heidelin, the planet, is just an enclosed interdimensional space, and then once you leave that space, you're in just this
Oh my god.
this one universe.
Oh my god. That's I don't even
like
want to
Remember
think
that
about
time
it.
Omega
ether.
just flew through space and then went on the different planets?
Yeah.
And then we fought it in space?
Yeah. That happened.
Mm.
That happened. What space? Which version of space was
Exactly.
that? Okay.
Empty space? I think there's empty space in every version.
You know what I was expecting at some point? I was expecting us to just pass Earth. We'll be like in the solar system, just
would be
passing
funny.
all the planets.
It'd be like 7.
I'd
yeah,
like
yeah,
Earth
yeah.
to just blow up in the background too, of course.
Of course. Okay, next. From Yabasa Albinata from Typhon. Hey. Sorry, I hadn't scrolled down. Hey, I was thinking where the new area might be. So I was speculating about it recently. Since Eden lays dormant in the empty, and its ether lays there dormant, Reen's theory is that it can be possibly restored. I was wondering that if so, and the new Eden would come and pass, would that be the new area? Or will it become a future area? I'm unsure about my own speculation, yet it makes the most sense. Though I would think it'd be closer to Raktika. Also, this isn't part of MSQ per se. What do you guys think?
What new area?
Yeah, I don't know what this new area thing means.
In an expansion
Yeah, I think
or for the
possibly
pack?
an expansion.
Do you mean maybe the Eureka thing?
We know the Eureka thing is not on the first, though.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Hmm.
I think we talked about this very early on, like what was going to happen to that place, because we are like rejuvenating or like putting life back into an area that's dead. So if there ever was meant to be a new area in the game, maybe that would make sense on the first. But then you would have to have done the raid. Like there's a lot of prerequisites to access that area. So
As long as maybe if you can only
like
go
the
in via
reward, maybe?
Aetherite.
yeah, it's just like a visual thing. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing of importance
Yeah.
there, but it's just a place
That'd be
you
a
can go
huge waste.
to. Yeah, yeah.
We already have that little zone that you access Eden from already.
Yeah, that's true. We already
Yeah.
have that. So I think
And we have the fairy world. That's only part
Yeah.
of the Beast Tribe quest. So
Yeah.
why can't we get
that's true. They
and
could
it
do
could have a
something like
few
that.
quests,
Yeah. Yeah,
and then
that's
it
true.
would be, there's no need, if you do the raid, you get rewarded with a new area.
Mm-hmm.
If it only can be accessed via an aetherite, then it's not got like a weird system where some people are flying around while you're trying to still do Eden.
Right.
Then it'd be fine.
Yeah. I can see them do that.
I'd like to go
It'd be
there.
weird if they didn't, in my opinion, because you're like making this new area. What if we just finish the raid and be like, bye, you never see that area again? That'd be weird.
I think that'd be kind of cool, like other content, like maybe like pause just as Citadel or whatever with the resistance stuff. Like, oh, you're building up the next area for the expansion.
That would be cool.
To be honest, I just want them to release an actual area as part of a patch, like a normal MMO.
I think it's difficult.
I want that to happen
for this game.
I don't know why it's difficult for this game.
I don't know.
They must have an odd development cycle for areas.
Yeah, have they ever released?
I mean, technically they've done it before with Eureka.
Yeah,
well, that's true. But it was instant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can they only add instanced areas?
Nowhere to seal it off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can have a guard that says, "Sorry, you can't go down this area just yet."
They could do that.
They've done that in Gridania.
That's true. The Tempest and As Is La are completely inaccessible from any other zone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You have to interact with NPCs to get there if you're not teleporting there.
Mm-hmm. That's true. We'll see. Can we? Then. Okay.
No,
we don't have time. All right, that's the episode. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to stay tuned. The post-show hangout will begin shortly. We'll be reading questions from the Syndicate and continue the Field and City Themes Tournament bracket. So stay tuned for that. If you're watching live, if you're not, then, well, that's how it is. If you're a patron, you're about to watch it anyway, so hello. Hello. Thanks for watching. Remember to follow us on Twitter, SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersXIV, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server. And if you're watching on demand, link should be in the description. Okay, post-show coming up. We'll be back tomorrow as well with minimum eye level. Goodbye.
Yay!
Goodbye.